29 of the Zeens and Roger Crochet Vlogcast. Welcome. Come sit down, grab your crochet and join me for however long it is that I talk. Sometimes it's 20 minutes, sometimes it's an hour and 20 minutes, who knows. I've been gone a while, haven't I? And I'm out of practice. I've done this is attempt number 4. Oh, it's shocking. Maybe I'll just keep it going this time. How are you? You alright? Yes, have I said that? Have I already said I'm okay? Yeah, I'm alright. It's been ages. I'm out of practice. I've never gone this long without recording an episode. So, yeah, I am sort of just out of the shower, so my hair is still wet. I am squeezing you in between things, I'm afraid. It's a bit hectic. But let me tell you what I've been up to. If I just reel off a list, is that alright? Just so you can, you know, I haven't just been sat at home twiddling my thumbs doing nothing. I've been busy. I've been to Venice. Oh my god. Amazing. Just amazing. I've written a blog post about it and I'll put a link because if you want to have a nose and sort of check out what I got up to, then have a read and have a look at the pictures and stuff. Just the most amazing city I've ever been to, like in all my life. I was blown away. Venice is beautiful as they say. Sorry, I'm going to blow my nose. I don't know why, but every time I press record I seem to get a really runny nose. Maybe it's because I've got all this wool and I've brushed up the dust. Excuse me. Do excuse me. I'm too lazy to stop recording just to blow my nose. The boys have had their birthdays, so I am now in charge of a 5-year-old and a 9-year-old. They're getting older. That makes life easier. But that it's also the reason why I'm upstairs recording today, because the school is closed. 3 days. They told us on Tuesday that Wednesday, Thursday and Friday the school would be closed due to maintenance issues. I think it's desperate. They wouldn't do it unless they were desperate. But it's left a lot of people very cross. I'm alright about it, but I don't know if you can hear them downstairs. It just means that a lot of the typing up that I was supposed to do last week and put off because it was nice weather, I was going to do it this week and I can't now, so I've got to delay that another week. But I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it's not that big a deal. And you should have seen my attempts yesterday at homeschooling. It wasn't very good. But mind you, it was literally draw a picture of Jack and the Beanstalk, or like my 5-year-old needed to tell me what he would do if he were Jack. And in the end I was just like, get out of the way, I'm going to draw this picture, it's going to be amazing. And I stuck up this big piece of paper on the wall and I drew this picture. I was like, no, not you with your pencils. So I took over. So I would never make a very good teacher. But I did take a picture of that picture. I was quite proud of it, so I'll put a picture, I'll put it up. I've been to the cinema 3 times. Like, I go to the cinema 3 times in 1 year normally, and in the last month I've been 3 times. First time was the day before we went to Venice. The kids were dropped off at Grandma and Grandad's house. Me and the husband had an afternoon to ourselves and we went to watch Ready Player One. Not as good as the book. And then for 9-year-old's birthday I took him and 2 mates to see Coco at one of the cheap Saturday morning things because it's like an old release. It's a Pixar movie and it was amazing. I thought it was one of the most beautiful films I've ever seen. It was amazing. I actually had tears rolling down my face. There was a little girl in the aisle on the other side of the auditorium sobbing her heart out because it was so beautiful and emotional. And watch Coco. It's beautiful. It's all about family and stuff. And then on Monday night I went to see Rain Man at the Odeon. And do you know what? I haven't seen that film for years. And they had a screening because I used to work at the Odeon years ago. And one of my friends died. And in in like a nice memorial sort of way, in memoriam, and they screened her favourite film. And so we all went, and all the money that we bought the tickets with went to chosen charity, and it was wonderful. And the Rain Man's really good film. I don't think I watched it properly the first time. This time round I was thoroughly absorbed, and I'm sorry that I'm talking about movies, and I haven't, for the last however long, haven't actually mentioned Crochet yet, but oh, it was wonderful, really good film, just like sort of shockingly so. But I shan't go on about it. I should start up another one. Start up another video where I'm just talking about how much I enjoyed Rain Man. And crikey, Tom Cruise was actually really good in it. A really good actor. And I know that's probably like chatted about quite a lot about how he sort of missed out on this Oscar and stuff. But crikey, yeah, really good. Anyway. But that was really, it was a blast from the past. I've not been to the Odeon for years, because it was always a bit of a weird one for me to go back to somewhere where I worked for such a long time. And it was like, I don't know if I've said this before, but like literally I've had several jobs and it's the only one that haunts my dreams still. Like I will wake up and I've had a dream where I'm sweeping popcorn from the aisles, or just, I don't know, having an argument with somebody in the foyer in my Odeon uniform, or I can't find my torch. Where's my torch? In my trusty torch pocket. It's not there. So I mean, it made a huge impact, just that job. It's funny, isn't it? Just, I mean, it's just a minimum wage job. During my uni years, and then after I graduated I stayed on for a few years as well. But it made a huge impact, and to see all the people I used to work with that I haven't seen for over 10 years. So bizarre, but really, I really liked it at the same time. Moving on, I've gardened. I gardened my heart out last weekend. I woke up on Monday morning and I couldn't move, lifting bags of compost, lifting pots, planting stuff, doing my seeds, really having a good go like I said I would, because if you don't follow my blog, you won't know that every now and again I post garden updates and stuff like that. I mean, I like it, it's interesting to me. Not everybody finds it interesting, but I like to keep a record of it. And so to do that, I write sort of semi-regular blog posts, and for the last 3 years I've been promising to empty pots and give my garden a massive overhaul, and I've started, and I'm going to do it this year, so wow, that's amazing. Like, always finding good excuses not to do that. And yeah, just generally doing stuff like that over the last few weeks, and really catching up and making a dent in all the stuff that I needed to do, or wanted to do. So I keep looking out of the window because it's grey skies, it's raining, and my hair is wet. Have I said that already? I said it in another take. My hair is wet because I've had a shower. I need to go out in 20 minutes. So I'll probably press stop and then start again in a minute. Other things I've done, swatched. You know I hate swatching, but I've done some swatches. And it's not just like copying rectangles out of books, it's actually trying to reshape them into triangles or crescents or shapes that they're not actually, you know, not actually in, and trying to work out the maths of it all is burning my brain. I hate it, but I know that when I do it, and once I've done it, it's like, oh, that's pretty good, I managed to do something there. So the results are always worth it. And then I've also made a shawl that I'm not going to show you, I'm not ready to show you today. I might show you next episode though. I've got it downstairs, it's finished, it's washed and blocked, I've taken photographs, and it's a doozy. Can you hear the wind in the rain? Depressing. This morning the sun was shining, not anymore. In fact, what I could do is show you what I've got left of my shawl. I showed you these last time. These were my Edinburgh Yarn Festival yarns. Garns are La Bien Amie, which is a high twist. Never used a high twist before. Oh my god, beautiful. And then this 2-ply silk mohair blend, I think it is, from Easy Knits. These have all gone into a shawl, and there's two, and I showed you these last time in their skeins, and I've used them, and I've got this much left of each of them. Out of all of them, this one is my favourite. High twist. It was absolutely beautiful to work with, and now all I want to do is work with like the ultimate super posh wools, because it was just a dream. I don't know what, it was like all bouncy, and it just, I glided through it as I used it, and it was wonderful. But I can't really get a taste for the expensive stuff, because that was quite a lot. But I also put it with, and I'll show you a sneak peek of one of the other colours. Ba-bow! And it's this one, and I can't for the life of me. Yes, here we go. I was going to say, good job I got the label, because I can't remember. But it's a proper fluorescent pink, and it's gorgeous. But this is a real woolly wool, 100% Wensleydale. I don't want to go out in that. I'm walking as well, so I'm going to get absolutely sodden. And the boys won't enjoy that. Great. Rebelling Against Suburbia, Lord Longwool fingering, and it's Countessa Blaze. I bought it from her sale section on her website, and it was just the right colour. And what I've got in this shawl, sorry to tease because I'm not going to show you the shawl, is an absolute mishmash of different yarn. I mean, they're all so different from one another in texture, in feel, in colour, in how they are made. And hopefully next time I'll show you the main thing. It's quite exciting. I'll leave it at that. One thing I would like to say is that it's very interesting, very exciting. I said about getting blocking wires last time, and I don't need to, because my friend Gwen from Instagram, hello Gwen, said knitting needles. Use knitting needles like blocking wires. Perfect. I did it when blocking that shawl. Because I've never seen a blocking wire in real life, but I think they're just wires maybe about that long, very fine but quite rigid, and then you just sort of weave them in and out of your stitches and use those to hold the tension rather than the yarn, so you don't end up with wibbles in your work. But do the same with knitting needles. I mean, yeah, they're a bit fatter, so you wouldn't necessarily want them on your finest lace crochet piece. But for any other crochet, I did it and it was brilliant. So much better than the wibbly wire that I was using, the wibbly plastic wire stuff I was using from the strimmer. They're straight already, and they're nice and firm. And I didn't use like massive chunky needles. I used sort of like, I don't know, the thinnest ones I had. And I needed about 6, maybe 8 for my shawl. And much cheaper than blocking wires, I reckon. You can find them in charity shops and stuff, can't you? So give that a try, or let me know if you've already tried it, because I mean it was news to me, and I thought it was a smashing idea. So for blocking, use knitting needles. Next, I mentioned a C2C cal, so if you wanted to join in and doing some corner to cornering, then I'm thinking maybe late summer I'll do a crochet along. I'm not ready to do one now. There's a lot going on anyway, but this gives people plenty of time as well to get ideas about what they might make, whether it would be a blanket or something else. C2C is good for all sorts of things. It's very versatile. But yeah, not now. Maybe August or September I was thinking about doing it. I'll let you know nearer the time. But thank you if if you said that you'd be interested, that's good to know. And then I've been doing a lot of grannying still, and I know why now. It's because it's comfort crochet. I've seen the thread, I've seen the connection, and every time I get a bit scared about doing something heavy, like a complicated design, I bury my head in the granny, and I end up, and that's why I've got an absolute ton of granny still. You know I love granny. You know I love a granny. But I think at some point I'm going to have to put her down and stop doing it, because stop making grannies, because it's basically taking away from challenging myself, and I need to do that. And then, but I mean, it's very easy, isn't it, to run away from the scary things, and so I'm going to have to step away from granny. But before I do, I've done you might have spotted it already. There's a tutorial out for the Hotchpotch. I've called it the Granny Hotchpotch, okay? And I won't go into it a lot. I'm just going to tell you that I made a lot of different ones. That's the one I made for the tutorial. Out of Aran weight yarn. And then they're making themselves a snack downstairs, and they're fighting over bananas, I think. I'll go down there in a minute. So yeah, I've made lots of different sizes, and there's a tutorial, and I'm at various different stages with these ones. I've pinned a zip to this one. This one has a zip sewn onto it, hand stitched onto it, and the lining has been sewn but not sewn onto it. So I've got to do that. So I'm at various stages with those ones, and then I made a big one as well, or relatively big one. And I've ordered some handles for that one. Rather than crochet some handles, I've ordered some handles. And I'll see about putting those on at some point. And then I've got a granny blanket as well on the go. But then that's it. Now it's time to challenge myself and move away properly and get serious about doing other stuff. Because I don't want to be known as a one-trick pony, do I? Not really. So, what have I got here? Holy smokes. I'm not much further on than I was, and I've given up because I don't like the shape. That bit's poking out too much. I said it would block out, but I don't know if it would block out enough to make me happy. And also my maths has gone wrong because I'm working with a different stitch count on this one, and it's thrown everything out of whack, and all of this is going to become a ball again. I'm going to frog it because it is not working for me. I like the way the colour gradient's changing and stuff. That looks smashing. And wouldn't it look nice? Wouldn't Holy Smokes look nice in one of these? I'm so cross. The maths is not right, and there's nothing I can do about it apart from frog it and start again. I'm really frustrated with this one, actually, to have got this far as well, and not to be happy with it. There are a few things I could do. I could make changes, but I don't want to because it would be cutting corners in the wrong places. And don't get me wrong, I love cutting corners, but not when it's at an important junction. Not then. So I was going to frog it right now, but I think I need to stare at it a bit more and just actually work out where I need to make the changes before I rip it back, because I've done that several times before and been far too hasty and then regretted doing it because I've come up with a different solution, blah blah blah. But Holy Smokes 2 is being shelved for a bit because I'm cross with it. But I will definitely come back to it because I want to. But I think I need just again, it's one of those ones where I keep having a break from it and then coming back to it. So it's, I mean, obviously it's always going to be there. I'm never going to let it go completely. And then what else shall I talk about next? So I've done that. Another whip. It's hardly a whip at all. I've cast on I think 88 stitches of the Ching fibre double knit, which I have to say, you probably can't see. It's in my, this is my it's an Edinburgh souvenir, all of this. It's my bag from Pearl and Plum, and it's my Ching fibre from Edinburgh Yarn Festival. I got this bag gifted to me at the Yarn Festival, and it's got badges that I picked up. Not actually, the only one I got was the Keep Calm and Carry Yarn podcast badge this year, and all the other ones from the year before, from last year. So I think those two are Dandelion yarns. That one's the Wool Kitchen, and then this one's the Little Grey Girl. And I bought from all of those stalls last year. And then I've got my Claudia badges, and there's the Resistance badge, I think. And then I've got my cat pins on this side. You probably can't see because the fabric's disguising the kitties. That's a cat from Claudia. That's a little pin from a company in Exeter up the road, Nieski. And then this one is a cat pin, which has got a real good retro vibe, and it's from somewhere in Bristol, and I can't remember the name of it, so I'll put it all in the show notes. Yes, darling. We're going to go out in a minute.
Edward's not letting me have a Kit Kat.
Isn't he? Well, I did tell you to have a banana.
Yeah, but I had a banana.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, but now I want a Kit Kat.
Well, you can have a Kit Kat for pudding at lunchtime, okay?
Kit Kat pudding at lunchtime.
Can you go downstairs, please, my darling? I'll be down in a minute, okay? Thank you. This is the 8th time I've cast on. And I'm too scared at the minute to go any further because it's knit 2, purl 2, right? And it looks beautiful for about 4 rows, and then I go wrong, and it becomes chink across, so that like it becomes, oh, you know what I mean. Oh my god. It becomes askew, and then I rip it all back. And the very last time I did it, I actually put in a lifeline, but I'd already made a mistake below the lifeline, and I hadn't noticed, and so I just ripped it all back anyway. So I don't know what to do. I don't know why it kept going wrong, because I was so careful. I went so slowly. But then I end up going wrong again. So I don't know if somebody said to practice on old wool. Somebody else said no, never practice on old wool, always use nice yarn because it keeps you going. So frustrated. But I want a hat. I really want a hat, but I'm doing the round, and I don't know if that's my biggest mistake or not. Right, I have to go to an appointment. I will be back afterwards with a couple more bits. I'll see you in a minute. I'm back. You're going to hear the children downstairs because they're all excited now they've had their lunch. I had to drag them to my doctor appointment, which is really annoying because I wanted to talk about my vagina. I managed to do it, mostly by talking at a low volume, but I'm going to get my coil changed, which has got nothing to do with crochet, so I shan't dwell on that. What shall I tell you? When I got back from my appointment, the postman had been, he has delivered some good things, including the bag handles I was talking about for my bag. Oh, dropped it on the floor. So I ordered these the other day. I ordered them from Amazon, and they're probably not real leather. They don't look like it. And they don't smell like it, so they're not real leather. But I've got 2 bag handles to go on the bag. So I could use those, which I think I will, but I also ordered a long one as well. Which has got those sort of clips on the end. So I could do that if I wanted to, but I think in this instance I won't. Although it doesn't look so bad. So I've ordered those for that. They arrived whilst I was out. And the other thing that arrived, which actually is a lot nicer than I thought it was going to be, for something that's just a shade card. So my hair's getting in my way now, it's all dry. Only yesterday, I ordered a shade card from John Arbon Textiles for the Knit by Numbers range. And I've gotten all of these, the whole range of shades. There's loads of them. And I've ordered them because I saw them at the Edinburgh Yarn Festival and I bought some and I like it. And I'm thinking that I will use this yarn for 2 shawls for my Seasons range. I didn't want it all to be blacker yarns, and at the moment the emergence of spring is blacker yarns, and then at the yarn festival I bought enough skeins to make a winter shawl. But for summer and autumn I thought maybe I shouldn't have the whole range in one sort of yarn. So I thought I'd do the other 2 in John Arbon. Like, John Arbon is up that way somewhere, about an hour-and-a-half drive, and I'm probably pointing in the wrong direction for both, but Blacker Yarns is about an hour-and-a-half that way, just over the border in Cornwall. So they're both quite local and I quite like that idea. So yes, I shall be looking at the colours for these later and deciding, because actually I want to make the autumn one before I do the winter one now. Getting quite excited. They also sent me the Devonia 4-ply shade card, even though I didn't order that one, didn't ask for that one, but they've sent it anyway because I thought I might like it, and I do. That's the range for Devonia. And I didn't get a chance to squidge this in Edinburgh, but I might have a go. I might go and have a squidge, because on the 19th and 20th of May, which is Saturday and Sunday, they've got an open weekend at their mill in South Molton, Devon. Ooh. So I might go to that. And then there's also like information cards about the Knit by Numbers and the Devonia. I've got all of that. So that's good. And I was really indecisive. I was umming and ahhing about whether or not I should spend £7.50 on the shade card, because it's quite a lot of money. I thought that's half a skein. But then what would happen is I would plump for what I thought would be the right shade by looking at the pictures online, get it in the post, and it would look completely different, and I'd be unhappy, and that would actually be spending more money than just a £7.50 shade card. So that, I think, is well worth the money. I'm really pleased with that. It's proper. It's not, they haven't skimped. That's proper. And I'm really pleased to see all those colours. So that arrived in the post as well. And then the other new thing I've got is some yarn. Got some yarn to talk about. So I've talked about that, hang on. Talked about that. Oh, did I talk about the bag? I've already talked about my bag once, and I think I've forgotten. I haven't talked about it. I made this, and I don't like it. Okay, don't like the handles. They're stupid. They're a bit too big for the bag. But the bag stretches out loads. If there was loads of stuff in that bag, it would probably look a bit more in balance. But at the moment, it's just like 2 giant bag handles on a piddly little bag. This is my mesh bag. Oh, I haven't sewn in the end. It's used with my pattern that's on my blog, but instead of doing the crochet strap, I crocheted around 2 handles. I wonder what happens if I put a load of stuff in it. Right, let's have a look. I wonder what it looks like, because I haven't. It just looks really kind of like pathetic when it's just all shriveled up like that. But if I put a few balls of yarn in it, we'll see. It might look a bit better. I wonder how many of these will fit in. Let's try that many. Right, that is 5 balls of Drops Melody that arrived in the post yesterday. And I bought them, that's 6 balls. See, that's not too bad, is it? The proportions are slightly better, I suppose, but it's still not my cup of tea. I bought 9 balls of Drops Melody, which is like a mohair. But it's a mix of wool and alpaca, it says, and polyamide. But it matches the stuff I bought in Italy. I bought these in Italy from a lovely little shop. On one side it had wool and on the other side it had bras and knickers for sale. There's like a really old-fashioned shop down a teeny dark alleyway that I saw in the window. They had wool and I made everybody stop while I went in there. It's called Neverland Silk by RVA, and this is 60% mohair and 40% acrylic, and this was the closest match I could find. And I'm going to make a jumper. And just quickly, what was I going to say just quickly? This is the only yarn I bought in Venice. This was my souvenir yarn. You don't need to buy loads, do you? Because I only had a rucksack, so I wouldn't be able to fit loads in anyway. I took this to another shop to show them what I bought, because it was a wool shop, the one I'd actually sought out and said I'm going to go there. The one I bought that one from, I just stumbled across. And the other one, which was like a pilgrimage I was going to go on to this fancy wool shop, I sort of said, oh, this is what I bought from this other shop. I might sort of try and look for something to go with it. But I just, they quite clearly did not like me at all. I don't know what I did, but I was not made to feel welcome in the slightest. So therefore I left pretty sharpish. I tried to have a conversation with them about how I liked different textures, so I was looking for not necessarily something the same as this, but something that was complementary. But she just looked at the label and she's like, you do realise that this is 40% acrylic, don't you? It's got acrylic in it. Ours is silk and mohair. It's just like, it doesn't bother me. I like, you know, I like both. That's fine. But I think they thought that I don't know, that I wasn't good enough, I suppose, and I left, and I didn't spend any money because I didn't feel welcome. But you guys know that I could have spent a fortune if I'd wanted to, but hey ho. Anyway, that is going to be a jumper from this book, which, quite frankly, has some hideous things in it. Absolutely hideous. I'm sorry if this is your cup of tea, but no. No. Right, so I thought I could make this, which looks like a weatherman's jumper. But general consensus, when I asked people on Instagram, I sort of gave them the option of that one. I asked about that one or this one, and everybody went for this one. So imagine that all in grey, but with then just stripes of pink, mint and blue. But I actually might also mix and match different elements from both patterns and come up with something my own. So that's going to be one of my next projects. I've got a child calling me. And that's going to be one of my next projects. But I'm a bit scared because if I make a mistake I'm not going to be able to frog any of that. Hello darling.
Do you know what a bug did?
What?
It stung my knuckle. Look, it stung me.
What bug was it?
A bee, but with a different head.
A bee with a different head?
Yeah.
Where was it? Downstairs? Did it land on you? Did you see it?
It was on the window. Edward smacked it
Yeah.
with a blanket, then it flew
Yeah.
and stung my knuckle. It flew and stung.
It doesn't look like you're in pain.
I want a plaster.
You want a plaster? Okay, hang on. As you can tell, chaos reigns. So I'm going to go. I've no idea if I've done this correctly because I filmed in a really haphazard sort of way and recorded several sections more than once because I messed up or because I was interrupted or because I had to go out and stuff. So I hopefully you'll get well, I don't know, hopefully you'll get a good episode. But in the meantime, I think I'll save the rest for next time. And hopefully I'll be in a sort of a more relaxed environment, shall we say. Yes, I hope you've been well. Thank you very much for watching. And I'll see you again next time. Happy crocheting. Cheerio, bye bye.